Alright, my friends, the time has come for very early Oscar predictions. Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. It is indeed time for my annual very early Oscar predictions video. I make this every late August, like right before the fall film festivals get started. I give you the lay of the land. What movies are we looking at right now that could potentially be huge Oscar contenders in the months to come? So like always, I split this video up into 3 parts. Part 1, I talk about all the films that have screened, like prior to like this week, let's say. Prior to the fall festivals, what has come out in theaters or what has played at some earlier festivals that might be Oscar contenders. Part 2, I talk about the movies that are premiering at the fall festivals, at Venice and TIFF and Telluride and NIF, the 4 big festivals coming up here in the next few weeks. Like, what is premiering there that could get in at the Oscars? And then part 3, the smallest parts, we're going to talk about a few select titles that are not going to the fall festivals that are coming out later this year, as late as December, and could get in at the 98th Academy Awards. Let's start with part 1 and Sinners. I've been talking about Sinners a lot on this channel ever since I saw it in April. When I saw it, I wasn't sure if it could be like an awards movie because it's a vampire film, because it was April. But boy, that thing took off with critics, with audiences, was a huge blockbuster, like one of the biggest original films in theaters the last few years, right? It was the perfect storm of a movie. It hit all the right boxes, and right now, I'm hearing that people are thinking Sinners could win Best Picture at the Oscars, that it could win. I'm not gonna go that far, you know. It's possible though, like over the next few months, there's not a consensus choice. Some people love this movie, some people love that movie. The one film everybody can agree on is Sinners, and that ends up taking like screenplay, maybe an acting category, director, picture. I can see it. It's possible. I wouldn't predict it right now. You know, it's still very early, right? But Sinners is going to do well next award season. It's going to get in everywhere. And I could see it getting a minimum of like 10 Oscar nominations. I could see that happening. I think it's pretty much guaranteed for picture and original screenplay, 3 or 4 technical categories at minimum. I think it's getting into director for Ryan Coogler. I think that's going to happen. And I think it gets into 1 or 2 acting categories. Right now, Michael B. Jordan in Best Actor and Delroy Lindo in Best Supporting Actor make the most sense. I would love to see somebody get into supporting actress, maybe 2 nominees in supporting actor, that's possible. Right now, I think we have to prepare ourselves. Sinners is going to do very well next award season. Anything less than, let's say, 7 or 8 Oscar nominations will be disappointing, will be kind of surprising to me. So yeah, Sinners is going to be big, and then we have Sentimental Value, which hasn't opened yet theatrically, but played at the Cannes Film Festival in May and did very well. Like, the praise was through the roof for Sentimental Value. And I think, like, next to Sinners right now, that's the other huge awards contender that has screened, that hopefully I get to see at TIFF in a few days. I'm just a few days away from departing for the Toronto Film Festival. I'm very excited to give you all of my coverage and a bunch of reviews all throughout September. Sentimental Value is one of my most anticipated films of 2025. I cannot wait. And I do think, kind of like with Sinners, it's going to get into a bunch of top categories. Sentimental Value, I'm pretty sure, is going to get into picture, director, actress for Renate Reinsve, supporting actor for Stellan Skarsgård, and supporting actress for Elle Fanning, and original screenplay, of course, too. So, like, I can see that movie also maybe winning picture and actress or something. Like, that could happen. You know, once I've seen the film, I can give you the full reports on the movie and how I feel about its Oscar chances. But right now, Sentimental Value, I don't see it going very much past the top categories, like maybe 1 technical category. I feel like that one's going to be mostly in the top categories, and that's fine. It can still win and stuff, but it's definitely getting 5 or more Oscar nominations next year. It was just an accident, won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, and I'm going to see that at TIFF as well. I'm very excited. I'm hearing really good things about that movie. I've seen some people predict it to get into Best Picture, not just international feature, but get into Best Picture at the Oscars. So that's one of my must-see films at TIFF, and I still don't know very much about it. Like, I don't know what the story is, I'm just gonna be happily surprised, hopefully, when I watch that movie. I don't have it in my picture lineup right now. That would kind of surprise me. An international film can get in here and there. Sentimental Value is an international movie, right? So that might be like the slot this year, I'm not sure. But I do think It Was Just an Accident, at minimum, will get into international feature, and I can't wait to see it in a few days. The Secret Agent also did well at Cannes. It won Best Director, it won Best Actor for Wagner Moura, and I'm going to see that at TIFF. It's nice when I don't go to Cannes and I'm like, all these movies, I want to check them out. Knowing that the big ones ultimately go to TIFF, like at least most of them, like Die My Love is not going to TIFF, and that very much disappoints me. But some of these like big awards contenders, like that one big at Cannes, they go to TIFF. I get to check them out in early September. The Secret Agent is one of those movies. It's from Brazil. Brazil had a big Oscar season a few months ago with I'm Still Here. Could The Secret Agent be the next I'm Still Here? I'm hearing no. I'm hearing it's a different kind of film, not like overly emotional and stuff. So I'm not convinced The Secret Agent is going to get into like Best Picture and, Best Actor, Best Director. I'm not there right now. Maybe after I see it, I'll change my mind in a few days. But like with It Was Just an Accident, I do think The Secret Agent is probably getting into international feature. And speaking of Die My Love, like what is happening with this movie? I am shocked, you guys, that Die My Love is not going to any of the big fall festivals. I mean, as of this recording, I don't know what the Telluride schedule looks like. This video is dropping like the day I think the schedule comes out. So there could be a surprise at Telluride. I don't know. I haven't seen the schedule yet. But I don't think Die My Love is going anywhere the next few weeks. And that makes me very suspicious about its Oscar chances. I'm a little worried, guys. I heard good things about the movie, not great things. Like a lot of rave reviews for Jennifer Lawrence in that movie. And she's received 4 Oscar nominations before. She's won before. It's been a while. I love Lynn Ramsey's work, and I'm pulling for this movie, but like, why is it not playing at TIFF? Why doesn't it have 3 or 4 screenings at TIFF or Telluride or Venice or something? Like, why is it staying hidden? Mubi picked it up. I think they're releasing it in theaters in November. So maybe if they have like a big advertising campaign and the reviews are really strong for that film in November, maybe at minimum Jennifer Lawrence can still be a part of next award season. But it's not looking very good right now. Like, I have taken Lawrence out of Best Actress. It's definitely not getting into like picture director and stuff. I don't know. Like, this movie might just come and go, not be a part of next award season, sadly. And then 3 Sundance films to mention briefly, very briefly, because like right now, I don't know if they're going to get in at the Oscars. Sorry Baby is a stunning film by Eva Victor. That was the best movie I saw at Sundance. And when I saw that A24 picked it up, I got very excited. That movie, I think it opened in like late June, early July. It did not come to my town. I've heard nothing. It just came and went, man. That was not a past live summer release from A24. Sorry Baby came and went. So, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put that into original screenplay right now. I feel like the movie needed to catch on a little bit. It kind of died out. So, I think the critics might save that movie in the months to come. Give it some big nominations and awards. I'm hoping that happens. I don't think it's like 100% dead. I think the movie is so strong, if enough people watch it, like it's gotta get some wins, some nominations somewhere, right? That'll be really disappointing to me if Sorry Baby just comes up with nothing in January, February, March. Like, come on, guys. See this movie. It's really, really good. It deserves, at minimum, an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay. But right now, I don't know. It is not looking good. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which I saw at Sundance. It wasn't one of my favorites. It was a bit too much for me, to be honest. It was like the chaos of that narrative. I was just like an hour in. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this movie. I can't take it. But even though I didn't love that film, I could recognize the power of Rose Byrne's performance. She is phenomenal in that movie. And I've seen her name floated on some Best Actress lists, in 6th or 7th place. I don't know if anyone's like predicting her to get in right now. That would surprise me, her getting in for that movie, just because I don't see it showing up in any other category. It would just be a Best Actress play for Rose Byrne, and that's it. And sometimes that happens for movies year to year at the Oscars. Sometimes a film just gets into one acting category and that's all. I mean, it's possible if Best Actress at the end of the day, like once we get like near Oscar nominations morning, there are the 4 women absolutely getting in without question. And then there is wiggle room in that 5th place slot. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Like Byrne could surprise. She is that good in that movie. I don't know. I just think the nature of the film itself, I'm like, are enough people going to even watch that movie? I don't know. I don't have her in right now. I do not expect Rose Byrne to get in at the Oscars. Maybe she'll get one precursor nomination somewhere, like a Critics' Choice or something, but I don't see that happening right now. And then Kiss of the Spider-Woman, which after watching that screening at Sundance, I said, there is absolutely a chance Jennifer Lopez could get into Best Supporting Actress. Now, I think if that movie is showing up in no other category, it's just a supporting actress play for Jennifer Lopez, it's probably not going to happen. That was the Hustler situation 2019. She showed up pretty much everywhere before Oscar nominations morning, but the movie was not getting nominated in any other category, and that can really hurt you at the end of the day. I'm a little bit doubtful about Kiss of the Spider-Woman's chances at this point. It's not playing any fall festivals, I think. And it's opening in October. It's like Lionsgate roadside attractions. She is dynamite in the movie. She's great, but it is mostly a singing performance, She doesn't really say any dialogue in the film. That's where I'm like, I don't know. I was really excited at the prospect of Jennifer Lopez getting in. And I still think it's possible if they run a really good campaign and there's room at the end of the day in supporting actress, like maybe. I'm not ruling it out right now. But like the chances seem slimmer. Like every month that passes in 2025, I feel like the chances have become a little bit slim for Jennifer Lopez getting into the Oscars for her first nomination. And then 3 other films that have opened theatrically, R.I.P. The Life of Chuck, right? The Life of Chuck, which won the People's Choice Award at TIFF last year. And I was like, if they can get this out quickly, if they can put this out by December, maybe it can get into like picture, adapted screenplay, supporting actor for Mark Hamill. That is absolutely on the table, but they really fumbled the release. They held it until June. That movie also did not come to my town, did not play in one theater in my city. And it just came and went, and nobody is talking about it now. So yeah, I think Oscar chances for The Life of Chuck are pretty well dead. Same thing with Materialists, which I really loved. I know many of you did not much care for that movie. Anytime I see someone defend Materialists online, say it's really great, I get very happy because I really did love that movie. And at the time I thought, well, maybe it has a chance in original screenplay or supporting actress or something. I don't think anything's happening with Materialists. Kind of like how I talked about around the release of that movie. I think the one big awards nomination that film can get is a Golden Globe nomination for Dakota Johnson. I think that might happen. Other than that, I think Materialist is not going to be a part of next award season. Is Weapons going to get an Oscar nomination? Will that happen? I am hearing a lot of rumblings about Amy Madigan potentially getting into supporting actress for Weapons. The only way I think that happens is if Weapons gets one more big nomination, like screenplay, like picture or something. And I don't think picture is going to happen for Weapons. That would really shock me. It would be a delightful shock. I'd be very happy. But I'm just if the only play for that movie is supporting actress for Amy Madigan, I just don't think she can get in for a horror film. She's very flashy, very memorable in that, and it would be one of the best Oscar nominations of the year. I would love to see it, but I am doubtful, right? I mean, I was doubtful about The Substance getting into the Oscars for months. I was like, that's not going to happen. And then like Demi Moore almost won. I mean, she like got close to winning the Oscar for Best Actress. But the substance got into picture. It got into director. It got into original screenplay. You know, it won makeup. Like, if Weapons can also get a nomination for makeup, like, that's possible, I guess. Like maybe. You know, I'm not going to get my hopes up, guys. I hope you are not getting your hopes up either. Amy Madigan getting in for Weapons would be really cool, but I do not see it right now. All right, part 2. We are on to part 2 and the fall festival movies that are premiering. Like, as this video drops, Telluride is getting started, Venice is getting started. I think Venice is already started, actually. I wish I could go to all of them, you know? Like, I would love one of these years to attend both Telluride and TIFF, but it's expensive, you guys. Just going to TIFF, you know, is a lot of money. So for me to like try to do 2 festivals, I'm just like, I don't know. But here is like breaking news, everybody, breaking news. I am not going to Sundance in January. I am gonna try next year, 2026, to go to Cannes for the very first time. Breaking news, it's not 100% yet, but I am working on it already. I want to go to the Cannes Film Festival in 2026 for the very first time. So I'm not going to break part 2 down into like only films premiering at Venice and then Telluride and stuff. I'm just going to start with like the big ticket films, the movies we really feel like right now are going to be huge Oscar contenders, and then work my way down the list towards films that, you know, maybe can get like 1 nomination, like maybe can get in. Like, let's start with the big ones. Jay Kelly, I have right on top. Jay Kelly, I think that one's going to get into picture, maybe director, probably actor, supporting actress, screenplay. It just feels like it's going to be one of the big awards contenders of the year. It's Noah Baumbach, his newest film, Marriage Story, a few years back from him, did very well at the Oscars, got into a bunch of acting categories, won supporting actress for Laura Dern, who is in Jay Kelly and might well be back, you know, for another Noah Baumbach film. Adam Sandler potentially getting into supporting actor at the Oscars gets me very excited, you know. I've always really liked him as an actor when he does something a little different. Like Uncut Gems 2019, he is freaking amazing in that movie. And I'm hearing rumblings that like he's very good in Jay Kelly and will probably get in at the Oscars. And that's really great. I'm excited for that to happen. I hope it does. George Clooney is the lead of that film. He still has never won an Oscar in Best Actor. You know, George Clooney, if he really comes on strong in this movie, does a really great job, you know, he might not only get into Best Actor at the Oscars, he could be a frontrunner to win. If the movie's great, like if it's competitive to win in other categories and stuff, like maybe this could be George Clooney's year. It's totally possible. So earlier this year, I didn't have George Clooney in. I thought, well, maybe it'll just be like supporting actor, supporting actress and stuff. But the more I've read up on this movie, I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, I think George Clooney is getting in for that. So I think Jay Kelly is going to be a big awards contender. I am very sad that Jay Kelly is not going to TIFF. I won't be able to review it for you in the next few weeks. You know, I guess I have to wait until it comes out, like when everybody gets to see it. But yeah, it's not playing at TIFF, which does surprise me. It feels like a TIFF movie, like something that would go there, but it's not. One movie that is going to TIFF, I can't wait to see, is Hamnet, which is another big awards contender. I think that movie is getting into picture, maybe director, definitely actress for Jessie Buckley, like sight unseen. I think she's absolutely getting into Best Actress. Paul Mescal, I think, is going to be a supporting actor play. It'll probably get into adapted screenplay, a couple technical categories, like costume design seems to be on the plate for that movie. And I just think outside of the movie just underperforming, like we all see it at TIFF and we're like, oh, it's not much, you know? Like outside of that happening, I think Hamnet is going to be one of the big contenders this year. It's definitely right at the top of my most anticipated films I'm going to see at TIFF, and I will have my review for you of Hamnet very soon. Rental Family starring Brendan Fraser is coming on very strong. It's being talked about as maybe winning the People's Choice Award prize at TIFF. Like, it could be that movie. It could be like the feel-good, original, really wonderful movie that audiences embrace that goes into November, December as like one of those films that everybody really likes or loves and gets in at the Oscars, in picture, in actor, in other top categories maybe. Brendan Fraser just won Best Actor at the Oscars for The Whale 2 years ago. It would be surprising to me if he became like a frontrunner to win again in Best Actor, or I don't think that's going to happen. But it seems likely he can get in again. You know, he's a very well-liked actor, and this looks to be a different kind of performance than The Whale. You know, he's not doing the same thing. And I watched the trailer a few days ago, and it looks like a really interesting film. I think it's premiering at TIFF, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's playing at Venice or Telluride. Maybe it'll do Telluride before, but I'm very excited for that one. I was kind of just vaguely aware of that movie throughout the summer, and now it's another anticipated film for me. I will see Rental Family very soon as well, and give you a review on the channel in early September. Bugonia, I think like as this video drops, it's going to be screened at Venice. Like as soon as you are hearing me talk in this moment, Bugonia might have already screened. So we're going to know very, very shortly, like, is this going to be an Oscar movie? Is it more Poor Things or more Kinds of Kindness, you know? Like, based on the trailer, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, that might play more like Kinds of Kindness and not even get in at the Oscars. But I just a couple hours ago, saw this new poster of Emma Stone with her head shaved, and it looks like she's got like honey on her face looking up, and I went, oh man, if Emma Stone is frickin' bringing it in this movie, like she's at least going to be in contention for an Oscar nomination. Now, is Emma Stone going lead or supporting for Bugonia? No one has cleared this up for me. Based on the trailer, she looks to be supporting. She doesn't look to be like the lead of that film. It looks to be more Jesse Plemons' story, but it's also Emma Stone, and if she wants to go lead, I think she will. You know, she doesn't have to be in every scene of Bugonia. So, like, if she's going lead, I might include her in my actress predictions, but because it's not certain, like, which way she's going, it might be supporting at the end of the day. For this video, I don't have Emma Stone in my very early Oscar predictions for actress. But if in the weeks to come, like Bugonia does really well at the fall festivals, it gets great reviews and gets a lot of awards buzz, like whether she's going lead or supporting, Emma Stone might well get another Oscar nomination in a few months. And then you have Jesse Plemons, who might get into Best Actor. The film could get into Picture Director. It is possible. I am very, very close right now to predicting Bugonia to get into the Oscars in Best Picture and Best Actress for Emma Stone. Like, I'm close. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe like one day from now, like once those first reviews come out for Bugonia, I might completely change my mind and go all in on this movie. You know, like, you know, we have to see it. We have to hear what the buzz is. And, you know, like, is Emma Stone, like, really bringing it in this movie the way many of us think she will? Bugonia is still kind of a question mark for me. I can't quite predict it yet in, like, picture. But I think it might get into the Oscars in not just one category, but a few. Right now, in like my 10th place slot in Best Picture in these very early Oscar predictions, for me it comes down to Bugonia or After the Hunt. After the Hunt is another huge question mark right now. That is also screening in Venice in just a few short hours. I think it's like tomorrow. Like, I think that movie's playing very soon. You know, I've had high hopes for that movie all year. I love the trailer, I love the cast, I love the director. It feels like a film I am going to adore with my full heart. Now, will it be an Oscar film? You know, it's Amazon MGM coming out in October. It's not going to TIFF. I don't get to see it in a few days. The poster sucks. The poster's not great. You know, the poster made me like, And I don't know. I am going to keep Julia Roberts in my Best Actress Final Five still. Like, I still have Roberts there. Because right now, I don't have any, like, older actress, like, older veteran actress who's, like, been nominated a bunch. I don't have anyone like that in the category right now. And I feel like there's going to be one, right? They're not going to fill that category Best Actress for the Oscars with only, like, younger actresses. Like, there'll be somebody, like, over 50 there, right? I think Julia Roberts makes the most sense, even if After the Hunt were to miss Picture, Director, the supporting categories. Julia Roberts is so beloved. Like, I think she can still do it, even if she is ultimately like the only big awards play for the movie. Based on the trailer, she looks to give a really good performance, so I'm hoping that the movie does better than that. I want it to get into a bunch of categories, and I shouldn't just base my feeling right now off of a poster, like that shouldn't like be the be-all and end-all of the movie's awards chances. I'm still like putting it in picture in that 10th place slot. I might regret that down the road. Maybe After the Hunt has no shot in getting into picture now. I don't know. But we will all find out in a few short hours. Like, those initial reviews out of Venice could be terrible, right? They could be scathing. And I could be like, oh, okay. Nothing's happening with After the Hunt, sadly. Right now, I have it in picture and actress. And I hope that happens. I hope that movie's really great. Even though it's not premiering at TIFF. Even though I'm sad about that, I am still very much looking forward to seeing After the Hunt in theaters in October. Frankenstein is going to TIFF. I will see Frankenstein very soon, hopefully. I don't have any tickets right now for anything, so I hope I'm not just like wandering around Toronto, like, begging for like a ticket to something. Like, can someone let me see a movie? I was worried about that this time last year, because like everything got sold out very quickly, and I was like, Jesus, am I gonna be able to see anything? And things worked out. I got to see everything I wanted to last Toronto Film Festival, so I think it'll all be fine. I think I will get a chance to see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which, like, is this going to be a play in top categories, or will Frankenstein just get like 2 or 3 or 4 technical nominations? I am leaning toward the latter right now. I don't see Frankenstein getting into picture, actor, supporting actor, that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be like a Nosferatu kind of play where it gets like 3 or 4 technical nominations and that's it, and that's fine. If it's really, really good, everybody adores Frankenstein, maybe it could have a shot in Best Picture, like in that 10th place slot. Like that's possible. I have it probably around like slot like 13, 14 right now in picture. I don't have it in my final 10, but I'm still very excited to see it. I mean, it's Del Toro doing Frankenstein with that amazing cast, and the trailer I thought looked pretty good. He said recently, like, he really tried not to do too much CGI in the movie. He tried to do as much practical effects as possible. So that's really cool. I can't wait to see it. I will definitely have a review for you of Frankenstein in the days to come. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Okay. Maybe like the craziest prediction I'm going to make in this video right now is that film is not getting in at the Oscars. I am calling it right now. In Best Actor for Jeremy Allen White, in Best Picture, in Supporting Actor, I don't think it's going to happen based on them adding the word Springsteen to the beginning of that title. I just think that was a really lame move from the studio. It'd be like if A Complete Unknown had been called like Bob Dylan, A Complete Unknown. Like, would the movie have done as well? Probably, I guess, maybe. And this could be, I could be like eating crow. What is the phrase? Like in a few months, like Jeremy Allen White maybe is like a front runner to win things for that movie. Like, maybe in a few months, I'll backtrack. I'll be like, oh, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I always thought Deliver Me From Nowhere was going to be a big Oscar player. I don't know. It's coming out in October. I think it's premiering at Telluride, and then it's going to NIF. That is not playing at TIFF, so I won't get to see it in a few days. Best Actor is very competitive. Like, there's a good 8 or 9 names that I am floating to put in this very early Oscar predictions for Best Actor. I know Jeremy Allen White seems to be a smart choice. I think most people have him in right now, and that might be the case. This is my biggest swing of this entire video. I think that movie is going to crash and burn and not be an Oscar movie. Like, maybe he can get in at the Golden Globes, maybe he'll show up a few places, but like, is Jeremy Allen White going to get in at the Oscars for that? I'm a little doubtful, even though, it's the same kind of playbook, like Timothée Chalamet playing Bob Dylan, Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. It makes sense. It is smart, I guess, to predict Jeremy Allen White, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it right now. And in like November, when I do my Best Actor early predictions video, I'll be like, okay, you guys were right. He's getting in, the movie's getting in the picture, okay. But I don't have it in right now. I know it's really silly just based on adding the word Springsteen. I just don't like that, you guys. I don't like it at all. It looks really gross. I don't like that. So yeah, It might get in at the end of the day, but right now in this video, I am not predicting it. One movie I am predicting to get in, not in picture right now. You know, I took it out of picture, I had it in a few weeks ago. I don't have it in picture, but I do have it in actress. The Testament of Ann Lee, which is playing at TIFF. I will get to see it very soon. And I don't know, I have a feeling about that movie. I think even if it's not one of the greatest films of 2025, I think Amanda Seyfried, who got in at the Oscars for Mank and Supporting Actress a few years ago, I think she's going to bring it in this movie. I think she's going to be really something else, like really spectacular in this. It's a period film, it's a musical, it's like a big swing shot on 70 millimeter, you know. It's many of the same talent who gave us The Brutalist a year ago. I think that movie, even if it were to miss picture, it can still get into actress for Amanda Seyfried. Now, it hasn't officially been picked up by any studio as of this recording. I saw just a few hours ago there's a rumor that Sony Pictures Classics is going to pick it up. If that's the case and they bring this thing out in December, like, watch out, you know? As long as the reviews are good to great, as long as critics don't attack this film, say it's really underwhelming, disappointing, it is a musical, you know? That gives me a little bit of worry. Like, that's the element about The Testament of Ann Lee. I'm like, if that falls flat, the musical aspect of it, then maybe it is not going to be a big Oscar contender. But right now, again, even if it misses picture, I think Amanda Seyfried can get into Best Actress. Anemone. Let's talk about Anemone, which after 8 years brings Daniel Day-Lewis back to movie screens. He co-wrote the script with his son, who directed the movie. And I wasn't sure about this one. Like, throughout most of 2025, I was like, well, maybe he's just in like a scene or two. Maybe he's not like a big part of that film. I saw the trailer. What a trailer, right? If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It looks like a gorgeous film, a very serious drama, and Daniel Day-Lewis is all over the trailer. I think he's the star of the film, you know? And it's like, oh, okay, this looks better than I expected, to be honest. I don't know, because it was like his son and stuff, I thought, oh, this could just be like a mid movie, you know, kind of come and go. But Focus Features has it. That's huge. It's coming out in October. It's premiering at NIF, right, in New York at the film festival there. So again, another movie I don't get to see at TIFF. This year has been a little tough for me. Like, there's at least 6 or 7 big movies that are not going to TIFF. And I'm like, come on, guys. They don't all have to go. I understand, like, not all of them are going to show up at TIFF. You know, but a few of these, like, premiering at TIFF would have been nice, right? Anemone is another one I'm very excited about. Now, having seen that trailer, I think Daniel Day-Lewis stands a very good chance of getting back into the Best Actor race. I have him in right now. I have Daniel Day-Lewis back in for Best Actor at the Oscars. I think it's gonna happen. Even if it misses picture, director, all of the other categories, Sean Bean maybe could be a contender for supporting actor. That movie just needs to get some great reviews. Everybody loves the new Daniel Day-Lewis performance. And I mean, like, if he does any campaigning for this in the months to come, I think Daniel Day-Lewis is getting back into Best Actor at the Oscars. I do. And now that I'm including Daniel Day-Lewis in my final 5 for Best Actor, I am removing Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine. I don't know. I have a feeling that movie might not be as great as some other fall festival films. It might just be okay. It's premiering at TIFF, I think, unless it's like playing a Telluride before. Maybe it's playing a Telluride. I will see it for all of you. I mean, you know, it could be good. It could be really good. It's, you know, Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, a Safdie brother directing. And like the trailer was pretty solid. I don't know. I was feeling pretty confident about Dwayne Johnson's chances a few months ago. And something has just kind of like made his chances dwindle right now. As we get closer to that film screening at the fall festivals, I don't know. I'm not getting a sense that movie is going to be a big contender, especially in like picture, director, screenplay, and other big categories. I think like the only 2 plays for that movie are going to be actor and supporting actress, right? I think Emily Blunt would be supporting actress, not lead actress. That's my assumption right now. I just think like Dwayne Johnson is going to have to give a really spectacular performance in that and get lots of early buzz and, you know, start getting nominations and wins from critics and stuff in December then maybe, I definitely have him around 6th or 7th place. It can still happen for Dwayne Johnson. But something has just fallen off a cliff a little bit with that movie. I'm not getting the sense right now that Dwayne Johnson could get in at the Oscars and Best Actor over Daniel Day-Lewis, over George Clooney, So I'm just is there room for him? Possibly. But right now, I have him out. And The Ballad of a Small Player, which is also going to TIFF. Speaking of Best Actor, here's another Best Actor play. Colin Farrell looks to give a very good performance in that movie. I just watched the trailer for that a few days ago. And it looks to be his movie through and through. Maybe Colin Farrell could be coming for his 2nd Oscar nomination in this category. I am also, of course, very excited to see that one. It is Edward Berger, who directed Conclave and All Quiet on the Western Front. Tilda Swinton is in that movie. So we could be sleeping on The Ballad of a Small Player. Maybe that movie gets into picture, director, actor. It's totally possible. If the reviews are through the roof, out of TIFF, it's one of everyone's favorite movies. Colin Farrell, it's getting amazing reviews for that. It's totally possible that movie will do better than some of us are thinking right now. It is Edward Berger, and his last 2 movies had pretty good runs at the Oscars, so maybe. I don't have it in right now in picture and actor, I don't, but after I see the film at TIFF and give you my review, maybe that will change. We shall see. And then a few more Fall Festival movies to talk about. I will go through these pretty quickly, starting with A House of Dynamite from director Catherine Bigelow. That is premiering at Venice. We will hear very shortly how that film is playing for critics and audiences and stuff. I have very high expectations for that. I think she is so talented. She's of course been at the Oscars before, the first woman ever to win the Best Director Oscar. So we have our eyes on that movie. I would love for her to be back at the Oscars. I don't have it in right now, but that could also change very soon. Is This Thing On, the new film from Bradley Cooper, is that going to be an Oscar movie? I haven't seen a trailer yet. I don't know too much about it. I think it's premiering at NIF, like the final big movie premiering there in a few weeks. So we'll know in early October what the reviews are like for Is This Thing On. I've seen it floated for some acting categories and stuff. I don't have it in right now, but we shall find out very soon. No Other Choice, I'm going to see at TIFF. I will give you a full report on that film. I'm very hopeful that'll be an Oscar contender, beyond just, let's say, Best International Feature. Maybe No Other Choice will get into some other categories. You have The Wizard of the Kremlin, which I'm hopefully seeing my first full day at TIFF. And that has a really good director, a stacked cast. I'm hoping that's going to be something special. We shall see. Late Fame, starring Willem Dafoe. That's a movie I'm excited about. I still don't know too much about it. It's playing at TIFF, but only for industry people. It's not playing for press, so I won't get to see it at TIFF, unfortunately. I don't know if Willem Dafoe is going to stand much of a chance in Best Actor this year because, again, Best Actor is crazy competitive. But let's keep an eye on that movie. And Hedda, I was very excited about Hedda's awards chances until I found out a few days ago it's just being dropped on Prime Video in October. It's just going to Prime Video. It's like The Lost Bus starring Matthew McConaughey. Paul Greengrass directed The Lost Bus, and I thought, oh, maybe this could be an Oscar movie. And that's just dropping on Apple TV in early October. So I'm I don't know. If it's skipping for the most part, movie theaters, it's just quietly being dropped on a streamer like Apple TV Plus or Amazon Prime or something, then I'm I don't know. Is that going to be an Oscar film? I would love it to be. I think Tessa Thompson is super talented. And Hedda looks to be a kind of movie that could be an Oscar film. I don't know. I do have Hedda out of contention as of this moment. Bad Apples is going to TIFF, the new Saoirse Ronan movie. I'm very excited. She plays a teacher in that. And, Saoirse Ronan is such a dynamite actress. I will see her in anything. I haven't heard much about the movie. I don't think it's going to be a Best Actress play for Ronan. I do have it on my schedule. I will check it out. But she was so freaking amazing in The Outrun. Could not get in at the Oscars for that movie. I would be surprised if Bad Apples got into the Oscars at all. And then Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. We know it's getting into Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. because Rian Johnson was nominated for the screenplays at the Oscars for the first two Knives Out films. So that's probably going to happen. Is Wake Up Dead Man going to get into any other category? I still have Glenn Close in Best Supporting Actress. I just have a feeling about that. Maybe it's nothing, It's playing at TIFF. I will see it at TIFF in just a few days. I might walk out of the theater and be like, Glenn Close, she's fine. But sadly, Glenn Close is not coming for her 9th Oscar nomination right now. That might well be the case. Just based on the trailer, a few stills I've seen of her in that movie, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's room right now in supporting actress for like a veteran in the category. I know nobody from a Knives Out movie has ever gotten an Oscar nomination, like in acting. That hasn't happened yet. I feel like if someone can do it, it's Glenn Close, right? So, we shall see. I can't wait. It's one of my most anticipated films at TIFF. I will be seeing Wake Up Dead Man in a few short days, and I will have a review for you as soon as possible. And finally, that takes me to part 3. 5 films I have to talk about that are not playing the fall festivals. At least, I think they're not. There's 2 movies here that I guess could maybe surprise at Telluride or NIF or something. I don't think any of these movies are playing a festival. I think they're just opening for general audiences in November and December, starting with Marty Supreme. I think Marty Supreme is going to be a huge Oscar contender. I think it's definitely getting into picture, definitely getting into actor for Timothée Chalamet. I think Gwyneth Paltrow stands a pretty good chance of getting into supporting actress potentially, maybe director, probably screenplay. Marty Supreme, based on that trailer that came out a few weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be an Oscar movie, definitely in picture and actor. And I think Timothée Chalamet might win. I know he's super young, but he'll be on his 3rd Oscar nomination in Best Actor. He was just nominated a few months ago for A Complete Unknown, and so he's back in the game. It's a Christmas Day release. If everybody really loves Marty Supreme, it gets nominated everywhere, not just an actor, but a variety of categories. I think Timothée Chalamet might win the Oscar right now. If I had to put money on it in late August, I think Timothée Chalamet is going to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. I think that very well might happen. We all have to see the movie. We have to wait until December. I was hoping Marty Supreme would play the fall festivals. It did not, so we have to wait. But I'm very excited for that one. I will be shocked, absolutely shocked, if that movie is not great. And if it does not do very well next award season. I think Marty Supreme is coming for a bunch of Oscar nominations. One Battle After Another. Is that movie getting into picture, director, actor, supporting actor? Is that movie gonna do well? I don't know. It's totally a question mark right now. It's opening at the end of September. It's got a huge budget. I'm like, what if One Battle After Another underperforms at the box office? What if it's just good and not great? Could it fade out come December, January, February, and not really play a big part next award season? I mean, based on the trailers that have come out, it looks like kind of a genre film. It's got a lot of action and stuff in it. And I'm just like, maybe that's not going to be a big awards movie. Even if it does well with critics and with audiences, maybe it gets into a few categories, but not all of the categories we're expecting. It's hard because it's Paul Thomas Anderson, and Paul Thomas Anderson movies often do very well at the Oscars, His last 2 films got into picture and director. So based on the trailers and stuff, it looks like a fun ride. It looks like a really great film. I'm like, it's gonna get into picture, right? It's gotta get into a field of 10? That would surprise me. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, having Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro, and I just think that movie has to get in at the Oscars in some capacity, right? Maybe Paul Thomas Anderson will ultimately miss in director. Maybe he doesn't get director, but the film still gets into picture, maybe a supporting category or something. I will be surprised if One Battle After Another comes up short on Oscar nominations morning, gets almost nothing. That will surprise me at this point. I don't think it needed to play at a fall festival. It didn't need to go to TIFF or something. It's opening at the end of September. It's a big, big film from Warner Brothers. It didn't need to play a fall festival or anything. That's okay. I don't know. I'm starting to doubt its awards chances a little bit. I still have it in picture. I don't have DiCaprio an actor. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to play like Killers of the Flower Moon and Don't Look Up, and both of those movies got in at the Oscars in a variety of categories, but not an actor for DiCaprio. I do think that's going to happen again, but I do think it can get into picture, in screenplay. Adapted screenplay is actually kind of light right now, and like, it's possible, like this is kind of wild, you know, considering what I've just talked about for the last minute or so. It's possible Paul Thomas Anderson could win his first Oscar, you know, after decades and a ton of nominations going back to the 90s. If adapted screenplay is light enough, there's not a huge contender in that category outside of One Battle After Another, maybe Anderson could finally win. That would be cool, you know, even if the movie underperforms on Oscar nominations morning, but it gets into adapted screenplay and everyone feels like it's his time. That could happen for One Battle After Another and Paul Thomas Anderson. Song Sung Blue, I just wanted to mention briefly because it's Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. It's a real life story coming out, I think, at the very end of the year. I have seen her name floated in Best Actress in 2 different places the last few days. I don't know very much about that movie, but I needed to at least mention it here. Like a film that's not going the fall festival circuit, that gives me pause, you know. It feels like the kind of movie that might be helped with some screenings at TIFF and stuff. Like, get the word of mouth out about this movie. Like, Kate Hudson, Hugh Jackman, it could be something, you know? They're both previous Oscar nominees. Like, maybe, you know, it's got music in it. It's a biopic kind of film. Like, maybe. So I felt like I needed to mention it here. I don't have it in right now, but let's keep our eyes out on that one. And then the final 2 movies to talk about are the 2 big films coming out at the end of the year. Avatar: Fire and Ash. I know some people are doubtful about that movie's Oscar chances. Like, maybe it'll do even worse than The Way of Water, like not really get into a ton of categories. I still have it in picture. I just think that movie's coming out in December. It's going to be a huge hit. The trailer looks great, you know, it looks really fantastic for a 3rd installment. And I'm like, in a field of 10, I do think the Academy will want to include 2 or 3 big films there, you know, big money makers. Avatar: The Way of Water getting into Best Picture for 2022, that makes sense to me. And I think as long as this 3rd installment in the Avatar series is as good or better than the last 2, why would it miss? So I know some people have it out of Best Picture. I still have it in, along with a few technical nominations, of course. That's going to win visual effects. Like, you can count on that. And then Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good is another question mark, you know? Like, we all have to see it. Will it be as good or better, you know, than the first film a year ago? If it's not quite as good, I still think it gets into Best Picture, but it could miss Actress and Supporting Actress. If the consensus on Wicked for Good is like, it's solid, but it's not quite as great as the first movie, I could see the film stumbling a little bit at the Oscars next year. I have it in picture, and I have Cynthia Erivo in Actress. I do. I just think it would be silly right now to take out Erivo in Actress. I mean, based on the trailer that came out a few weeks ago, I think the movie is going to be stunning. It's going to be really, really great. Like, maybe not quite as good as the first movie, but pretty close. If I had to put money on it, I would say Actress and Supporting Actress are happening again for Wicked. I think it's going to happen again. I think, like, it's possible one or both could win, you know? If Wicked for Good is truly outstanding, like if John M. Chu can get into director this time, if the movie gets into picture, it gets into director, you know, maybe it shows up in adapted screenplay or something. If it overperforms on Oscar nominations morning, maybe one or both could even be in line to win an Oscar. That would be something. So yeah, right now, as of this moment, I have Wicked for Good in a variety of top categories at the 98th Academy Awards. So I hope you had fun. I certainly did, going through all of the big titles we are going to be talking about in the months to come. I can't wait for TIFF. I can't wait to review a bunch of Oscar contenders for you in the days to come. As always, in my very early Oscar predictions, I will give you my predictions right now, as of this moment, at the end of August, in Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Picture. In alphabetical order by last name, in Best Actor, I have Timothée Chalamet, Marty Supreme, George Clooney, Jay Kelly, Daniel Day-Lewis, Anemone, Brendan Fraser, Rental Family, and Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. In Best Actress, I have Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good, Renata Reinsve, Sentimental Value, Julia Roberts, After the Hunt, and Amanda Seyfried, The Testament of Anne Lee. And in Best Picture, I have in alphabetical order After the Hunt, Avatar Fire and Ash, Hamnet, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Rental Family, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below what are your very early predictions for the 98th Academy Awards coming your way in March of 2026, and I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.